Hey everyone, welcome back to the Hood Table one more again. Please come on in and hit the like button, hit the share button, and subscribe to the Hood Table if you're not already subscribed. We are about to be reviewing season 4, episode 6 of Good Girls, and the name of the show was titled Grandma Loves Grisham. Now, I can't deny, I was really like thinking that Grisham was real. I'm like, what's up with the title of the show? Grandma Loves Grisham, but we'll get to that, okay? So again, everybody, make sure you like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the Hood Table. And I also know that we are one episode behind. The new episode just came on, so I will be reviewing that as soon as possible, okay? But anyway, please make sure you let me know your thoughts on the show, the different characters, the different storylines, or anything I speak about today. So let's start off with Ruby and Stan. I'm gonna leave the good stuff to the end. Right now, we're gonna start off on Ruby and Stan. Now, I have to say, I love me some Ruby. Y'all have probably heard me say that before. Her personality is just perfect for the character that she plays in this show. Now, when her husband Stan walked into the kitchen searching through the cabinets, asking if they had any peanut butter and bread, she was just up there typing in her calculator, looking down at a stack of bills, punching in those numbers in her calculator, kind of like ignore him. She was like, do you see any bread? Do you see any peanut butter? If not, then there's your answer. And it's not like she be trying to get like smart or be rude. It's just like her whole personality. She's just like so blunt. I love it. But anyway, they are like really doing pretty bad right now. And in my Smokey from Friday's voice, I can't help but to remember when he went over Craig's house and they didn't have nothing that he was looking for. He was like, y'all ain't never got two things that match. Kool-Aid, no sugar, peanut butter, no jelly, ham, no burger. Damn. I know y'all got to remember that line from Friday. That was actually one of my favorite lines from the entire movie. But yeah, that's what that reminded me of because they had like no food in the cupboard. And, Stan, he is trying, just like he always tries to understand what all Ruby be getting herself into as well, or should I say getting herself involved with as well, even if it's not voluntary. But something has got to give. They can't afford to keep eating and paying their bills. They can't eat and pay their bills at the same time. But you saw how the cabinets were looking all bare and stuff. He was like, I'll just eat me some crackers. And what did he grab? Some mustard? I'm like, ooh, crackers and mustard? That's kind of gross. But then on top of that, the cost of the mess for their daughter has just went up again. So, of course, Ruby, she's been feeling guilty about her part and everything. So she asked Stan, was there any way that he could possibly convince his boss to get him a commission for the merchandise that they've been selling? To which Stan replied, no. He had made a deal all right, to sell merchandise for his boss. But just like Ruby's situation, Stan is not doing it voluntarily. He's doing it to stay alive. So as you can see, their situations are different, but still could end up with the very same results. Deadly results. Now, moving on. Not only are Ruby and Stan having financial issues, so is Beth and Annie. Annie can't even pay her rent, and after informing the FBI agent Phoebe and Dave that he just won't wash right now, did the agents really care? Hell no, the agents didn't care. They don't care how they get her done, just as long as they do just that. But how can they when they don't even have any money to work with? They can't ask Rio for any type of advance. The FBI agents also made it very clear that they are not their financial advisors. And at that time, Beth had yet to be invited to meet the big boss. But what the hell was up with Agent Donegan? I'm like, is she smoking? Is she high? Like, while the ladies were concerned about how to make some money, Agent Donegan was up there staring. She was sitting like, just staring all in the Beth's face. And I was like, what is she doing? Because Agent Dave had already walked out. And she was just sitting there like, your eyes. I just love your eyes. Oh my gosh. What color is that? Is it slate? Is it smoky? I'm like, what the hell? Are you seriously trying to find out what color her eyeshadow is? Man, she was just sitting there with her chin in her hand, just staring at Beth. I love your eyes. Like she was mesmerized. And then Ruby, she had gotten beyond irritated. So she told Donegan, listen here. I will have Beth text you the link to where you can buy that damn eyeshadow. Okay. Y'all, I was cracking up. I was too done. But anyway, what was Beth gonna do, y'all? Because ultimately, she's the one that everybody else really relies on. Ruby and Annie are always expecting her to come up with the next brilliant, big brilliant plan. Both the FBI agents are depending on her to bring them the big boss. And of course, Rio and his boss, whoever that is, were banking on her to keep their bank accounts full. And not only that, Rio's also trusting her to not turn on him or turn him in or his organization over to the feds. So what, with all this pressure on her back, Beth was looking at Agent Donegan like, bitch, are you seriously asking me about some damn eyeshadow right now? Like we have bigger pressing issues right now than what color freaking eyeshadow I'm wearing. But then anyway, after lying awake most of the night, later that night, Beth has been extremely stressed out, like from every end, from every angle. She always got somebody breathing down her neck for something. She had to come up with a plan of what to do best. And what did they decide to do? What they do best, really, which was to put on some mask and rob somebody. But who should they rob this time? Like the next thing you know, I don't know why. Like, remember the last guy they tried to pin on to take the money to the bank? Dean's employee. And then they depended on Big Baby T this time. We saw him sitting with Annie at Annie's house. She was sitting across from him and she was, doing her best to convince him because he had just recently got hired at a jewelry store. So she was doing her best to convince him to help the ladies rob the stores. At least that's what they had hoped would happen. Instead, Big Baby T got the days mixed up and ended up handcuffing them until the authorities showed up. Y'all, Big Baby T was like, my bad. I was confused. Donut day today. Y'all, tomorrow. I got the 2 days mixed up. My bad. He couldn't even play it off, though. He was pulled out the handcuffs. It's like, okay. So when the ladies were hauled in, they were like, it is what it is. It is what it is. We tried to come up with the money to make some money, but it didn't quite pan out. But Beth knew that the FBI agents wanted Rio's boss much more than putting them or her and the ladies in prison. So this time, Agent Donovan caved and Agent Dave, because at first they was like, I'm sorry, but we're not your financial advisors. I don't know where you gonna get the money from, but you better come up with it from. Where did they think they was gonna get the money from? They know they thieves. They know they done rob people. They know they made counterfeit money. So of course, the way that they was gonna get the money wasn't gonna be legal. They had to have known that. But anywho, he decided, okay, we'll put you guys on payroll and they're going to pay them the cut amount that, they normally would give for Rio. So they were able to take some money, pay some bills. Ruby brought home some money for some bills. Beth was able to pay some bills. But Annie and her son, Ben. Now, Annie, she's always doing bad. Always doing bad. She now got enough money to pay her rent, get caught up on her rent. But Annie was being grilled by her son, Ben, asking her everything from what, when, where, how, why. He's like all up in her business because she's been lying to him about where she's been going and what she's been doing. She's been acting secretive, moving funny. You know what I'm saying? So he has been grilling her about that. But she has in fact been actually just taking some GED classes, but she's been secretly studying for her next GED test, but didn't want to tell anybody, especially her son being, probably most likely fearing possible embarrassment, if she was to fail the test again. But in fact, once the test day came, she just knew she was going to fail. She even bribed the test administrator, with a stack of money. And I ain't going to lie, I probably would have been looking at that money like, you got any more where that came from, sis? But the test administrator, he was looking at her all crazy, like all hella crazy, like, girl, if you don't take this money off my desk and sit your butt down and get ready to take this doggone test, He didn't want no parts in whatever she was doing. He didn't want no parts. And the thing about it is the money was probably counterfeit anyway. But even if it was real, he probably would have done the same thing, which was basically telling her that she better take her damn seat. He was like, "Are you really trying to slide me a stack right in front of all these students in my classroom, girl? Yo, sit your ass down." But anyway, I think if she would have caught him, before or maybe after class, she might have had a better chance to persuade him into passing her. But being they was right, in class and everybody was sitting right there listening, like, not the time, Annie, not the time. But she didn't need it anyway because she passed. So she didn't even have to, she would have paid that man. If he would have took the money, he probably would have kept it too. Even though she really passed, he probably would have made it seemed like she really flunked, but then he passed her. But anyway, she didn't need it. She passed. And he's smarter than she thinks. She's smarter. If she takes her time to study, she's smarter than she thinks. She doesn't give herself enough credit at all. And that's the thing. I'm gonna get to that because I really don't think she gives herself enough credit. She was scared to tell her son, so she was running around lying about her whereabouts and everything only for her to pass. But then being her son, he has not only that problem with her, but Josh, the darn therapist, then came over with his drunk ass, just confused as he wants to be. Like all of a sudden, he realizes that he doesn't want to marry his wife. And I told y'all before, like several times, like I told y'all a while back that I think her therapist, while he got Annie up there laying on the couch coming in several times a week, he needs some therapy too, because he just hasn't for a while known exactly what he wanted in life as well. So it's like, should he be with Annie, who can't seem to function on her own most of the time? Or should he marry a woman that others would probably rather see him with? Any options here? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. And he still doesn't know. But I'm glad for once in her life, Annie has managed to turn down a man who wasn't hers, but who wanted something from her. Then she asked her therapist, does he really want to be with her? Or does he just not want to be with his fiance? Crickets. No answer. He never did answer. He instead ended up falling asleep on her couch. He had came over after like his bachelor party or whatever he called it. He called it something else. He was like, well, in your country, you guys call it a bachelor party. But I don't know what it really was that he called it. But anyway, the next morning she woke him up before he could be late for his wedding. And Ben had walked through the door right in time to catch them in a really tight embrace. And even though it wasn't quite how it looked, that's not how her son Ben saw it. So automatically he assumed that the engaged therapist was the reason for his mom being vague and secretive lately, which was why he got upset and stormed off into his room. So Annie, she figured it was time to finally come clean to her son, telling him all about her GED classes. And thank God she did pass, because had she failed, I think Annie would have probably spiraled all the way back down into those dark places that she tends to find herself wallowing in. But more than that, I'm going to really need Annie to get her and her son's relationship in order. Like I said before, I don't think she gives herself enough credit as a mother and as a person. Excuse me. And that's why I need her to get her son and her relationship in order, because I'm sick of this reverse parenting roles between the two. Annie needs to start being and acting like a parent, like a mother, because even if she does have her faults, we parents, we all have faults. Her son needs to start respecting her more. I'm like, dang, how much disrespect can you take for one child? I mean, Jesus. But anyway, let's move on to Beth and Dean. Dean is still out of jail, but he's obviously feeling a bit claustrophobic from only being allowed to go like 3 blocks. He has like a 3-block bracelet from his ankle monitor or ankle bracelet. So he's getting kind of claustrophobic. He's used to going out. He used to doing bike rides. He used to, just doing a lot of things, outside. But he can't do that. And Ann was teasing him. I mean, Beth was teasing him when she said, well, you just fixed the bike. Why don't you just ride up and down the driveway like your daughter does? He was looking at her like, say one more word. Say one more word, Beth. But you know what? He was looking so sad. I've been feeling really sorry for Dean because he really wants to get out and enjoy life like he used to. And thanks to Beth and her girls, he can't. And he was up there staring out the window. You know how kids be like on a rainy day? They just be in the window, sitting at the windowsill, just sighing, just hoping and praying that the sun would come out. But while Dean was pondering over if he would take advantage of his 3 block radius ride with the bike he just fixed up, Beth had some bigger decisions of her own to make at the time. After convincing the feds that she could somehow still pull it off with Rio, Beth accepted Rio's invite, even though she had no idea who it was that she was about to meet. But I'm sure she must have thought that it might be somebody like, like the people we see in the movies. Somebody real big, somebody intimidating, some big kahuna, some big drug lord, some mobster type of gangster person. So how surprised was she when she realized at a family barbecue that he brought her to that Rio's grandmother was the boss that he wanted her to meet. And might I say that this was the strangest dinner setting that I have ever seen. Like, what was up with his brother cousin or cousin brother? I was like, well, damn, Rio, which one is he for real? Is he the brother? Is he the cousin? The dude was like, I'm his brother. Rio was like cousin. He was like brother. He's like cousin. I'm like, what the hell? I mean, obviously, we could tell that there was some type of beef or a big rift between the two men, before Beth got there. And it seemed like it wasn't just like a recent thing, but maybe some kind of long-standing thing that's been. Child. Let me know what you think, because the man, he just kept going on and making slick shade remarks. And I think that's what really confused me too, because Rio, he started to act really like, I don't know, kind of overprotective with Beth. I mean, you would have thought that instead of them being partners, that they were a couple. I don't know, or was it just me? Y'all let me know what y'all think. Or was it just that he didn't want his brother cousin to say something in particular in front of Beth? I don't know. Again, let me know what y'all thought about that whole scene. The whole atmosphere, though, for Beth was extremely uncomfortable. And I just know that she was sweating in all the wrong places. Which is why when Rio started caressing his fingers, across her back, she hurried up and got her butt up and took off to that bathroom. She removed the wire from, inside her clothes. Like, would you want to be caught anywhere around any of those people at the table with a wire? Hell no. No, sir, no, ma'am. Beth ain't crazy. She heard we got her ass up. But do you guys think that Rio is aware that she came over with a wire on? Or do you believe that Beth purposely started seducing Rio to distract him from finding the wire? I don't know. But I was so waiting on another sex scene with y'all. Know I just love them two together, and they would probably never ever be a couple, but I just love the sex scenes between them because they have like a chemistry that's so strong, and it's like they both kind of be like fighting it, you know what I mean? But I don't know. It seemed like Rio, he has this big thick wall, up in front of him because he don't want nobody to get too close to him. He don't want to be too sensitive, too caring, too fragile. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. But I cannot be the only one that has ever imagined the two of them like actually being together as a couple. Please let me know if you have actually imagined that between the two, because I just can see them like as this power couple making these money moves. You know what I'm saying? And as far as Beth and her husband, does she even love him anymore? Does he even love her anymore? Like in a way that they should love each other, as husband and wife? I don't think so. I think the love being gone. And I don't know if they could ever get back to where, they used to be. So anyway, to sum this all up, This episode, it seems like not only Beth was able to pull it off and make a good impression with Rio's family, but Stan, with Ruby's help, was also able to convince his boss to take his counterfeit purses to a whole nother level, which will hopefully allow Stan to sell them for much more money. Annie, she was able to pass her GED test, and for once, she kept her legs closed to a man that ain't hers. And Beth finally told Dean what she has been up to and exactly how she was able to get him out of jail, which was basically promising the agent some useful information on Rio in exchange for Dean being released. So, we know that from the title of the show, when it says Grandma Loves Grisham, she wasn't talking about Rio. It was some book on the bookshelf where Beth had hid the wire. So, do y'all think that the reason why Rio said that was because he knew the wire was behind that book? Like he knew Beth had hid something behind that book? And that's why he said Grandma Loves Grisham, because that was the name of the book, Grisham. Or do y'all think that he had no idea that she brought a wire into the house? And I wonder if the wire is still active. I wonder if she left it there. And do you believe that Josh, the therapist, will come back for Annie? Will he leave his fiance at the altar to come back to Annie? To Annie? I can see them as a couple. I can. And while I was saying, in the past that I think that he needed a therapist, he actually told her this episode that she never really needed him. I think he kind of actually maybe possibly took advantage of her time and had her still coming to see him just because he wanted to see her. Y'all let me know what y'all think. But anyway, in the meantime, in the between time, stay safe, be blessed, always remain vigilant, and don't forget, keep it hood. Bye.